All right, everyone, welcome back to TNT Digital Mindset. Today, we're cutting through the noise and zeroing in on the digital trends that actually matter. I've leveraged advanced AI to distill the latest research into clear, actionable insights, so we can focus on strategy, not fluff. Let's get started.
So let me ask you a question. Are you building a business, or have you just created a really demanding job for yourself? So many entrepreneurs start out with all this passion, right? But they just end up completely burnt out. In this explainer, we're going to break down the key mindset shifts you need to make to go from being that overworked do-it-all person to a true owner who can build something that actually scales. Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll dive into what I call the self-employed trap and why it just leads to total exhaustion. Then, I've got a great little story about 2 burger joints that reveals the real secret to scale. We're also going to talk about the one thing, the real game changer that holds most people back, how to use fear as your fuel, and finally, what your single most important job is as a leader. All right, let's start with where most businesses get totally stuck. It all begins with passion. You're amazing at what you do and you think, hey, I should do this for myself, and you jump in. But pretty soon that passion just turns into this endless cycle of burnout because you've made yourself the entire engine of the business. And just look at the difference here. It's night and day. On one side, being self-employed, it promises flexibility, but what it often delivers is just pure exhaustion, because you're the one doing everything. Now, on the other side, owning a real business, it's not about controlling your time. It's about leveraging other people's time. The whole goal shifts from flexibility to growth, and from exhaustion to expansion. It's a totally different game.
The best way to explain this is with a simple story. It's about 2 burger places, and it just perfectly shows the difference between being the best at what you do and building the biggest business.
Okay, so picture this. In some small town, there's a place called Herb's Burgers. And Herb, I'm telling you, makes the absolute best burger you have ever tasted. People are lining up out the door. He's a true master of his craft. But fast forward 30 years, and Herb is still there, in that one little shop, flipping the burgers himself.
And then, well, you've got McDonald's. Now let's be honest, does McDonald's make the best burger in the world? Of course not. Not even close. But they sell more burgers than anyone else on the entire planet. So what's the deal? They didn't focus on perfecting the burger, they focused on perfecting the system.
And that's the whole point. The crucial difference isn't about the quality of the burger. It's that McDonald's figured out how to build a system that could be copied over and over and over again, endlessly. They figured out how to scale.
So this brings us right to the heart of it all. If scaling is the real goal, what does it actually take to make that jump? Most people think the answer is, oh, I need a better business plan, or I need a new marketing strategy. But the real game changer, it's something else entirely.
We're kind of taught to believe that if we just had the right strategy, the perfect tactics, then success would just magically happen. We spend all this time looking for the ultimate how-to guide, but what if that's not even the real problem?
Well, here's the truth of it. Success in business is 80% psychology and only 20% strategy. Yep, you heard that right. Your mindset, your beliefs, your emotional state, that stuff has a way bigger impact on your results than any business plan you could ever write. I mean, think about it for a second. How many times have you known exactly what you should be doing to grow your business or improve your life, but you just didn't do it? See, that's not a strategy problem. That's a psychology problem. The real barrier isn't that you don't have the information. It's the internal fight, the resistance you feel to actually making the change.
And this psychological strength, it gets put to the ultimate test during times of uncertainty. When the world feels chaotic and scary, most people just retreat. But that moment right there is exactly where the biggest opportunities are hiding, if you know how to see them. Think about what happens when the economy gets a little shaky or the future looks unclear. The default human reaction is to freeze up. Businesses start cutting back, people stop investing, and basically everyone just hits pause and waits for the storm to pass. And that fear, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It causes the very stagnation everyone was so afraid of.
But a true leader sees this moment differently. When everyone else is pulling back because they're scared, that is your moment to push forward. Widespread uncertainty creates a vacuum. And if you can manage your own psychology and just keep moving, you can make more progress than at any other time. It's a huge advantage.
You have to remember, fear sells. The news, the headlines, they're all designed to grab your attention by making you afraid. If you're going to lead, you just can't be a consumer of that fear. Your job is to manage your own state, to see beyond the chaos of the moment and to stay focused on the opportunity that always exists.
So, if you can manage your fear and you're committed to building a real business instead of just a job, what should you actually be doing with your time? If you're not supposed to be making all the burgers yourself, what is the real work of a leader? Well, the answer is incredibly simple. You know, the biggest problem most people have is that they think they shouldn't have any problems in the first place. We treat challenges like they're these annoying interruptions, like they're a sign that something is wrong with us or our business. But we need to totally reframe our relationship with problems. A problem isn't a sign of failure, it's a sign of life. Problems are the friction that forces us to grow. Without them, we just stagnate. They are the very things that sculpt us into stronger, more capable leaders. So every single day, you face this fork in the road. When a problem shows up, you can choose the path of stagnation, which is all about assigning blame, blaming the economy, your team, yourself. Or you can choose the path of growth, which has only one move: solve it. So, if you're ready to stop being the chief doer of everything and you want to start being the owner, well, it's time for a new job description. Forget everything you thought you were supposed to be doing. Your real job comes down to one single focus. This is it. This is your new job. Stop doing everything. Instead, start solving the problems that create leverage. Solve the hiring problem. Solve the training problem. Solve the marketing systems. Solve the problems that, once they're fixed, empower other people to do the work. That's how you free yourself up to actually build the business. That is the ultimate shift. Hey, if you want more practical insights on how to build these kinds of scalable systems and get your mindset right, make sure you subscribe to TNT Digital Mindset for more.